Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Total Solar Eclipse of 2024. If you don't know who we are, I'm Mark Holzbach, and my partner, my husband, Dana Friis-Hansen. And I have a few notes of things that I want to talk about, but I'm going to pass the mic over to Dana first and let him get kind of squared away and oriented.
Welcome again. This is really exciting moment for us. Mark and I have a number of activities in our lives. You are now sitting on the project that is called The Plant at Kyle.
Part of the mission when we conceived of this place, The Plant at Kyle, was to be stewards of this very special place. And I hope that you've got a feeling of it and a sense of it, that this is a special place. It's a special place both with the geography of Texas, the hill country, the nature that happens to be right here, and the architecture that then got built here 30 years ago that you'll be hearing more about.
Good morning. My name's Andrew Hertig. I'm a partner with Lake Flato Architects, and the founding partners, Ted and David, designed the plant. And I want to start out just by thanking Mark and Dana for being such amazing stewards of this place. And place is really what it's all about, this place in the broader sense of the word. And we start all of our work with this notion that as people, we have this innate desire or need to connect to the natural environment, to time and the seasons, and in many ways that's place, culture, and context. And so the plant was one of the very first projects, if not the first project, that Ted and David did, and it's kind of a proof of concept of this notion that architecture is this powerful tool that connects people to place and to the natural environment. And the trees here in South Texas are so amazing because they create space, these broad canopies, and so they then use the buildings to frame and play in kind of partnership with the big live oak trees to create outdoor rooms that then merged with the indoor screen porch and the buildings themselves. It was just this kind of elegant, efficient equation that resulted in this wonderful indoor-outdoor space. Thank you very much.
It's pretty amazing.
One of the centerpieces that we're really excited about, that a lot of work has gone into, is the unveiling of a sculpture by the artist Eames Dimitrieff.
We're at the Plant at Kyle, which is a pretty cool building, as I'm sure you've seen around here. But where we're standing right now is in front of installation for my Parallel Universe project. It's called Chimerics Theater. KCYMAERXTHAERE. It's kind of like a novel with every page in a different place. We have 153 sites in 30 countries so far. But each one is its own, part of the story, its own little treasure. This one is designed for the eclipse. That pole will cast a shadow, and we mark it at certain points. The first contact, beginning totality, end totality, and the final contact. And what these folks are doing, you can hear them in the background, we're going to build a bench that follows the exact arc of the path of the shadow caster, and that will be the bench of totality. Eclipses are basically pretty ephemeral. In fact, they're so ephemeral that nobody here knows if we're going to even see it tomorrow. So we have a physical object that reflects this ephemeral event. And then the story that's on there, it's called Rigor of a Simple Shadow. The beautiful thing about the human mind is when you read a story, you can visualize it even if you couldn't draw it. So you're sitting here reading this story and you say to yourself, I'm just not sure that this could be, but you're hearing these people working, you're hearing the cars in the distance, you're hearing the birds, you're seeing the sun. All these things are telling you you're really here at the same time as, you've been transported. That's the goal of it.
I direct opera productions and put them together and that sort of thing. And so this is kind of like an opera production. Lots of different little moving parts. My name is Doug Fitch, and I have come here today to help kind of animate various moments probably in between moments and so forth. So one of the in between things is the space between the food. So in this case, we're creating a kind of an interplanetary cosmos of edibilology. But as you can see, it's a complete replica of the only galaxy in this living room. And there will be some asteroid meatballs and hard-boiled eggs that are floating through space at different speeds and eclipsing one another. Sometimes it's important to have some event like this eclipse to remind us where we fit in it all. And I think that's an important thing to sit down and relax with for a few minutes every 20 years.
I'm Chef Steve Couch, and I'm really excited to be here with Mark and Dana and Tiny World Tours for yet another solar eclipse. We did this 7 years ago, except we started this party in Denver and we drove up to Wyoming. Now we're here in Austin, Texas, and we've just been spending the whole day getting ready for an amazing feast. We're gonna have people and food, and it's gonna be a huge celebration. So we picked some Chinese chives from out in the garden in the field over there. We made them into an amazing emulsion that's gonna be served tonight over Peruvian chicken and roasted garlic mashed potatoes. So excited about that. Tomorrow we have an amazing installation, a charcuterie board that we've curated especially for this event. Hot food, cold food. I mean, we have literally a diorama of the eclipse, an installation that we've created inside of an installation. So I can't wait to express and share my food and this experience with everyone.
Want to introduce our chef for the evening, Steve Couch, who's been with us on
You say that now, but wait. How's everybody doing? Great chef.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dana. Very excited to be here. Yet another solar eclipse. This is the second one that I've done with Mark and Dana, and it's just a pleasure to be here. I want to just talk a little bit about how to live a borderless life. When I was in college, I took a Psych 101 class, and our professor told us we were going to learn about human behavior by studying a school of fish. And we thought it was quite an interesting proposition, because what could fish teach us about human behavior? At the very beginning of the semester, she went out and she bought a 50-gallon tank. And inside the 50-gallon tank, she put 50 fish. It was really interesting to learn about how they interacted with one another, how they formed community. Well, we decided to conduct an experiment with the fish. And as you know, in most experiments, you have to insert what we call a variable, right? So what we did about halfway through the semester was that we corralled all the fish to one side, and into the tank, we inserted a plexiglass partition. So now the fish who were once living in a 50-gallon tank were now living in half the space that they were used to living in. As the semester was ending, the very first thing that we did was to remove the plexiglass partition. And it was interesting because we noticed that they weren't swimming to the other side of the tank. The fish just weren't going to the other side anymore. And from that day until the day the very last fish died, they never swam in a full tank again. For a lot of us, we were really deeply impacted by the pandemic. Many of us were corralled to one side and a plexiglass partition was inserted into our existence. I remember when the pandemic was over, it reminded me of that school of fish. And it reminded me that it was time to venture out and see and discover what the world was like again. And so I challenge each of you to just check the plexiglass partitions that you've inserted into your lives, the things you told yourself that you couldn't do, to see that there's a huge world around us. There's a lot of things that are opportunities that are available to us, and there are no plexiglasses there if you just try to look one more time. Some of us deserve so much more than we give ourselves credit for. But when you put a plexiglass there, when you put that barrier around yourself, when you put that border within your own mind, that is the prison that actually binds you. That is the thing that was keeping you from everything you wanted all along. So my friends, I just stopped by to tell you that. I've been to 46 countries, and I only did that because I removed the plexiglasses that were in my life. Thank you very much for your time.
We're doing 10 minutes each. It'll just give you a little idea. And I encourage you all to listen closely to what people are saying. And then throughout the course of the day, go up to the people who've spoken, ask them questions. learn more, meet new people, because one of the other projects that we have is called Tiny World Tours, and that's where we curate experiences in special places with special people, and it broadens people's awareness of the world around them. And we love the idea of having a Tiny World Tour that comes right into literally our own backyard, so that we can share ideas and issues and art and creativity together.
We want it to be a place that celebrates arts, culture, creativity, and also inspires and elevates people who come here for various reasons, like the one today.
And so our concept was that this would be a one-day celebration of the eclipse, that people would spend the whole day here. We also wanted it to be multidisciplinary. So on this stage, what we're calling the Chautauqua stage, or tent talks, you'll hear from a wide range of people from different backgrounds. You'll hear about science, you'll hear some poetry, you'll hear from a mountain guide who spends a lot of time in nature. You'll hear from a number of artists, and we're excited about that. We'll also have a wonderful dance performance by Deborah Hay.
Thank you, Mark and Dana, for bringing us together.
Thank you for being here. Tiny World Tours is our experience company, and the Plant at Kyle is a venue. So they are coming together in an eclipse convergence.
And we are excited to welcome you here. We thought this would be a fantastic place for people to experience the total solar eclipse.
Well, hi everybody. Mark and Dana have a unique ability to gather people of all different sorts of talents and abilities, and it's been a wonderful time meeting everybody. I need 2 volunteers. I feel like it's easier to tell a story when there's some interpretive acting going on. Is that okay?
Am I dead?
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah.
Well, since he's not around, I'm going to just tell about a friend that Tommy kind of found, and how that came to be. Tommy, by the way, is responsible for the inflatable Ganesh. Yeah. Well, anyway, he was born in Denmark. That's the story. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Where can we see you and Charlie this summer?
Me and Charlie, this summer, you'll be in Iceland, I think. Right? He's got a Charlie's got a residency in Iceland. And I'm going to be in where am I going? I'm going to be in Sweden. So please come see my opera and the Royal Stockholm Royal Stockholm Opera. What? Yeah. Yes, that's right. It's called Love and Chaos. It's totally fun. Mark's coming. Other people are coming. Some people are coming. Okay, I'm coming. We've got a bunch of people from here. We're actually going to Sweden to see this. So there's still room. It's the most spectacularly beautiful theater I've ever seen. It's built in 1766. May 25th it opens. And if you ever want to be inside the Palace Theater, the actual palace, and the king and queen will be there in the front row. So
Aloha, everybody. Yeah. So my name's Keto St. James, and we're really happy to be here in this beautiful island of Kyle. It's really pretty. Raise your hand if you live in Kyle. Are you familiar? Anybody? Yeah. So Kyle is a magical place because I was raised in Hawaii, and my mom would tell stories about her family. The history of the Kyles is that the Kyles came to Virginia in the early 1700s, and then from there they spent the winter there. Some of them came by boat from New York, and then from there they made their way into these areas here. And so it was really interesting to know a lot about the history, and a lot of them actually migrated to California afterwards. But thank you very much for being part of these talks.
How many in this crowd have ever witnessed a total eclipse here on planet Earth? Raise your hands. You know what? For many of us, this will be the first time because they don't happen that frequently. When you think about it, the sun and the moon only pass close to each other in the spring and the fall. But it's sort of a complicated geometry because the sun follows a path that the planets do as well, called the ecliptic. It turns out that the moon is off that by about 5 degrees. We fortunately will be along the path of the umbra, which is the name of the shadow that's going to be passing over us that probably by now has just crossed from the Pacific into northern Mexico, traveling at a speed of 1,600 miles an hour.
We're so glad y'all are all here today. So first from Emily Dickinson, who always makes us think more and more clearly about our essence and our being here. We grow accustomed to the dark when light is put away, as when the neighbor holds the lamp to witness her goodbye. A moment we uncertain step for the newness of the night, then fit our vision to the dark and meet the road erect. And so of larger darknesses, those evenings of the brain, when not a moon disclose a sign or star come out within, the bravest grope a little and sometimes hit a tree directly in the forehead. But as they learn to see, either the darkness alters or something in the sight adjusts itself to midnight, and life steps almost straight.
if this is your first ever total solar eclipse, raise your hand. Oh my gosh, I'd say the vast majority of people in the audience. If this is not your first total solar eclipse, raise your hand. Okay, well, we've got a good representation of both, you know. Except a couple things. Parallelosols are the umbrellas that you see. And Amelia, who's wearing pink, is very hard to miss. Is the person to see if you're interested in acquiring one. We have what we're calling a lunar lender program, so you're able to borrow a parallelosol today for today while you're here. And if you want to, you can purchase it, but you don't have to.
Thank you all, and what an amazing group of speakers today, really spectacular. So I am a sculptor and an artist. I'm an installation artist and also a public artist. And all of us who are creatives, we get to create experiences in the world that hopefully last forever and ever, for whatever ever it is. But I wanted to talk, one of my great teachers is Carl Jung. And Carl Jung created a phrase called synchronicity, and synchronicity is meaningful coincidence. And I feel like my life has been, forever many parts of meaningful coincidence. And in a way, we are all momentarily going to be forever connected for this moment, this time together. And that is so special. So back in 1995, I was in Venice, as one is, going to the Venice Biennale, and there was one of the most amazing exhibitions called Asiana, and it was in this beautiful palazzo, and it was art of artists from Asia, and it was one of the best shows I saw that year at Venice, and it was probably, at that time, maybe my 5th time to go into the Venice Biennale, because living in England, that's kind of what you do. You kind of go regularly, and I'll be there this summer. But little did I know that that exhibition, that was my most favorite exhibition, was curated by Dana Friis-Hansen. I did not know Dana Friis-Hansen yet. I think we're all interconnected, and I think having had the privilege to travel with Dana and Mark on Tiny War tours in other countries, and hopefully we're planning one to go to Kosovo, where I have a very beautiful glass sculpture at the US Embassy in Kosovo. So hopefully I'm going to go to Munich, Kosovo. Anyway, we're plotting. We've been plotting for a little bit. But I think showing up, but also taking note of each and every person that you meet, and in a way taking it seriously, because I went on this journey, and as an artist, I think you have to believe in everything and just go. Like, you might fail, you might not succeed, but you have to go. And I feel very privileged to be able to make work that brings joy and color and light into people's lives. So enjoy the eclipse. It will be a moment forever, ever etched in your minds and hearts and souls. And see you on the other side.
All right. Thank you all for being here. I'm about to literally be eclipsed as a speaker, but I guess that's the price we pay for doing art during an eclipse. When Deborah talked about the importance of things, seeing things that aren't there, it did remind me of when we did an installation in Armenia. The mayor of the town had to. I try to get in situations where I don't have to persuade too many people, because it's a little hard to explain a parallel universe and why I was there than welcoming hosts like Mark and Dana. But the mayor of the town in Armenia, I said, oh, okay, I was kind of perched on the edge of the slab there, so okay. So the mayor of the town of Omsk in Armenia, after I told him, what I was doing this project, and I said, one of the purposes of this project is it helps you see things that aren't there. And he said, well, who cares what's not there? And I said, well, think of everything important in your life, your family, your career, in his case, the whole country of Armenia as an independent state. All of these things didn't exist before they did. And yet they're often the things that really keep driving you. And so helping people see that is a worthy goal in and of itself. And so he thought for a second, he said, okay, you can do the installation. And I think that challenging of the limitations is part of the real fun of the project, and inviting people to imagine different worlds. So I'm just going to say a few more things. One thing is that we have these umbrellas. They're called parallelosols, and some of you purchased them in advance, and that's great. But we have lunar loner, because it has 40 holes in it. But those 40 holes will cast an image onto the ground. Now is a good time to look at the umbrella and even hold it over this, because you can see. So I'm happy to tell you more about it, but I think we'll focus on the sun, and I think we have a plan to get back
in a few minutes, we're going to make our way to the courtyard.
So we're going to bang a gong when it's time to make the procession.
All right. I was setting that for myself, actually, so I wouldn't talk through the eclipse.
That's hilarious. You won't see much yet. The moon just barely touched the sun.
This big blob of news like that. 132. That is our favorite right there. It's like
Could it be? Could it be?
You can take it.
the birds are getting tired.
Look at the birds.
Wow. Look at the birds.
They're so cute.
Now I'm sure there are dragons to follow.
Aloha, my name is Keto St. James. I'm the director of the Academy of Ethnocultural Performing Arts. And what we're doing is coordinating all the specialized cultural entertainment that's going to be going on today. We have Aztec dancers, and then we have Kalani Kaba'ola Manaloa talking medicine, going to do a native prayer for the opening. And then we have some of the dancers from Hula Halaka Epa Tropical Productions performing today. I'm also providing the Hawaiian luau menu, which we serve later on today. So it's pretty good.
Grandfather, hear me. I'm Peasawat, the early riser, morning star. Guide me in the wisdom of the crow. Guide me in the ways of good medicine. Help us, Father, to experience in a positive unity the energies that we feel. And Grandfather, let us dance again.
Thank you.